Get a large one-topping pizza for $6.99. That's right, a large pizza with one topping for just $6.99 delivered to your door. Call now.
News Channel 5 investigates handicap parking tonight on News Channel 5 at 10.
Tonight's headlines. White House calls criticism of Bush speech, quote, bull. U.S. death toll in Iraq mounts with new attacks. Hurricane warnings up as Claudette takes aim at a big target, Texas. Also tonight, an FBI terror warning. Thousands of brand new passports are missing. Eye on America, the new face of the American unemployed. Former white-collar workers now struggling to make ends meet. And baby makes noise. Lots of it. But in this movie theater, nobody cares.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Questions about faulty pre-war intelligence making its way into President Bush's State of the Union address is not going away. But President Bush insisted today the intelligence he gets is, and I quote, darn good. As for allegations that Americans were misled about a need for war because the president talked up a supposed Iraqi nuclear threat, Mr. Bush's spokesman dismissed them with a barnyard epithet. CBS News White House correspondent John Roberts reports. John?
Dan, the White House today dismissed those accusations as a bunch of bull, but remarkably, officials still refuse to say that uranium report was flat out wrong, just not solid enough to be included in the State of the Union.
It was another attempt to move past what has become a tremendous embarrassment for the president, one that hung heavily over Mr. Bush's meeting with the UN chief today, his first since the war.
And the fundamental question is, did Saddam Hussein have a weapons program? And the answer is absolutely.
White House officials also denied the uranium issue was a central reason to go to war with Iraq. But reviewing the president's speeches, it was clearly used to build a sense of urgency about the threat from Saddam.
Should Iraq acquire fissile material, it would be able to build a nuclear weapon within a year. The British government has learned that Saddam Hussein recently sought significant quantities of uranium from Africa.
British Prime Minister Tony Blair, who travels to the White House Thursday, today defended his intelligence services. But new polls show 2/3 of Brits think he misled them, either knowingly or unknowingly. A new CBS News poll found a growing number of Americans now believe the White House overstated the threat from Saddam's weapons. Democrats, anxious for any opening to challenge the president's popularity, have leapt on the issue.
Why isn't he leading to determine who should be held accountable for this? And why isn't he advocating reforms within the intelligence community to avoid a repetition?
And Republicans are now worried that the bickering between the White House and the CIA over who is to blame for the mistake is turning this into a real problem, one that threatens to erode public confidence in the president as a no-nonsense chief executive.
Republican sources say it's amazing that no one has been fired over this, and they add the longer it plays out, the more it appears the president is willing to, quote, let mediocrity reign. Dan?
John Roberts reporting live from the White House. Inside Iraq, the level of danger for Americans remains high, with more violence directed at U.S. forces today, and the future of the new U.S.-backed governing council uncertain. But CBS's David Hawkins in Baghdad reports there are also some positive signs of emerging democracy as a nation in transition tries to find its way.
Just outside the gates of the American compound where Iraq's new interim government was meeting,
hey, they shooting over here.
A diplomat's car was ablaze. Whether from a bomb or grenade has not been determined. No one was hurt, but it was a reminder that no one in Baghdad is safe.
No, it's not safe in Baghdad, but we're doing everything we can to make it a safe place.
But soldiers keep getting killed while trying. Another American soldier died today in a rocket attack on a convoy in Baghdad. There's plenty of fireworks here, just not the kind you'd hope for on Iraq's Independence Day. Iraqis celebrated their freedom, no, not from Saddam, but instead from a king, assassinated 45 years ago today. Even Iraq's communists joined the Independence Day party. There's freedom of speech here now, open expression of all sorts of political opinion. Elections are only a matter of time, say U.S. officials. Iraq's first post-war government, handpicked and installed by the U.S.-led coalition, has declared April 9th a new national holiday. That's the day Saddam fell. They also scratched all of Saddam's old holidays off the calendar. One was this Thursday. The canceled holiday marked the rise to power of Saddam Hussein and his party. Saddam loyalists say they still plan to celebrate it in their own special way, with a big offensive against coalition forces. To preempt the attacks, U.S. forces launched Operation Ivy Serpent to round up more remnants of the former regime. This nation now has two Independence Days, the day the king fell and the day Saddam was toppled. When the coalition soldiers finally leave their country, Iraqis may celebrate a third. David Hawkins, CBS News, Baghdad.
Tropical storm Claudette is still spinning slowly toward the U.S. Gulf Coast, with top winds now gusting to over 80 miles an hour. Whether or not Claudette reaches full hurricane strength, steady winds above 74 to 75 miles an hour, it has the potential for heavy rain and flooding. Better safe than sorry, hurricane warnings and watches are up for some 200 miles of Texas coast, with Claudette expected to approach land by tomorrow afternoon. CBS's Lee Cowan is waiting on the storm tonight on Padre Island, Texas. Lee?
Well, Dan, as a hint of things to come, oil rig workers that were evacuated from their posts out here in the Gulf were reporting those gusts from Claudette in excess of 80 miles an hour. And for those on land, that was enough for some city officials to recommend that residents leave sooner rather than later. For some 200 miles along the Gulf Coast of Texas, the storm that's teasing weather forecasters is tantalizing those with surfboards, despite the safety warnings that have already been tested.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for a 23-year-old surfer, orange shorts.
Strong undercurrents created by Claudette pulled an 8-year-old out to sea, sweeping her more than a mile down the beach before rescuers finally reeled her in. The threat of a storm this slow-moving has many in the storm's path bracing for a Texas-sized deluge.
Seems like they're preparing like it's a Category 4, but I guess it's a good thing to be proactive.
It was only 2 years ago when another tropical storm, Allison, similar in size and speed, flooded the Houston area, killing 22. Just the kind of memories that have city officials warning residents to seek higher ground.
If you live in a low-lying area, we would suggest to you that you make your plans to do that today and through tomorrow early.
Extra traffic lanes have been opened to speed up voluntary evacuations. Fishermen have pulled up their nets. Farmers have pulled up their crops.
We don't know when it's going to come in, so we're going to cut as fast as we can, as long as we can.
And recreational boaters now have a new hobby, tying the best knots they can.
And now we're tying up extra lines, extra fenders. I've taken the sails off to reduce the windage, and I got my insurance paid up.
Claudette, though, still remains a very slow-moving storm tonight, but forecasters predicted it could become hurricane strength by as early as tonight. Dan?
Lee Cowan reporting live from Padre Island, Texas. With Claudette on the way, I checked in a short while ago with one of the world's top hurricane experts, Dr. Neil Frank of CBS's Houston affiliate KHOU. And I asked Dr. Frank about the Texas coast getting hit so early in this hurricane season.
Well, it is early for the Texas coast to have a hurricane. Since 1871, we have not had a hurricane on the Texas coast in early or the middle part of July, except in 1891. So this would be unusual if indeed it becomes a hurricane and makes landfall.
And what's holding up Claudette right now?
Well, right now, the steering currents are very weak, and the hurricane is tending to just drift a little bit towards the north. We anticipate a turn towards the west, but that is certainly not happening today. And if it continues on this track for another 24 hours, we're going to have a hurricane on the coast of Texas, somewhere in the vicinity of Galveston or maybe down towards Matagorda Bay.
Sometimes even a small hurricane, a borderland hurricane, can create tremendous rain. Likelihood of that or not?
As it happened with the tropical storm here a couple of years ago. Yes, if it moves very slow as it crosses the coastline, we could be talking about 10 inches of rain, 15, something like that. All depends on the speed, and right now it's moving probably no more than 5 to 10 miles an hour.
Dr. Neil Frank, thanks. Yet another wildfire is racing through forest land of the west and threatening homes. This one started over the weekend near Yakima, Washington, and has more than tripled in size, with almost 2,000 acres up in smoke by today. The fire is threatening more than 100 homes in thick timberland on the slopes of south-central Washington state. Another wildfire is burning parts of Arizona as the fire season continues to build in many parts of the West. Overseas, China is weathering one of the heaviest rain and flood seasons in decades. Rivers in eastern China are at record high levels. More than 1.5 million people have been forced out of their homes as thousands of soldiers and volunteers try to shore up dams and divert the high water. In the Central African nation of Burundi, refugees streamed back into the capital city today to find at least 200 dead in the latest battles. Burundi has suffered years of civil strife and massacres, most of the violence caused by rival tribes. In this country, authorities in Ohio and other states say they're searching for the bodies of 2 missing children, Philip and Sarah Gehring, who were caught in the middle of a bitter parental custody battle. They were last seen with their father, Manuel, who is being held in California as a suspect. And law enforcement authorities hope someone can identify the man caught on this store surveillance camera in West Virginia. He's suspected of assaulting an 11-year-old girl at the store on Saturday night. Next here on the CBS Evening News, an invitation to terror. Growing concern, stolen passports may wind up with al-Qaeda operatives heading for the U.S. And then later, it's 2 to a seat at some movie showings when parents bring along baby.
Serenity Dry Active Liners from Tena, designed to fit your style.
Fix-It Complete Denture Adhesive. The strong hold you expect, plus more. A better fit. Fresher breath. Fewer stains. Less soreness. Fix-It Complete and forget it.
Don't you have work to do?
The mortgage. There. I'm done.
The mortgage application with 80% less paperwork. From Bank of America. Higher standards.
Men over 40 are waking up to a surprising fact. They may already be at risk of a heart attack. Doctors recommend Bayer low-dose aspirin as part of a routine to help prevent a heart attack. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen. Trust your heart to Bayer.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Digger. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or those surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends. Settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. Barely serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do blood tests. Other side effects including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. It's the #1 brand for treating infected nails. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
In the war on terror, U.S. officials are now focusing attention on the hunt for thousands of new passports stolen in other countries. CBS's Jim Stewart reports why some of these missing passports are of special concern.
Among all the battlefield debris found in the Tora Bora caves from the Afghan war, few items attracted as much attention as the bags full of forged visas and identity documents produced by al-Qaeda, which even had access to brand new passports issued by their friends, the Taliban. Now the FBI warns there's word that thousands more new passports are missing worldwide, from Mexico and Russia as well as Saudi Arabia, home to many of the 9/11 hijackers.
It's a major problem in the fact that they're genuine documents, so they're difficult to detect.
At the Immigration and Customs Forensic Document Laboratory, where copies are kept of every nation's passport and identity cards, and for some countries even every stamp used by every customs agent, the serial numbers of the missing passports are being entered into a deny entry database as they're collected.
If the other government's controls are fairly good, they can usually inform us of the exact serial numbers of these passports.
The most recently reported missing passports come from Russia, where 2,500 have simply disappeared. Mexico earlier reported a similar loss and a theft. The missing Saudi documents are particularly troubling because they lack a control number and have all the latest security features like holograms, a measure many countries switched to following 9/11.
It is the ultimate cat and mouse game. I mean, they're trying to duplicate or replicate our security features in documents or security features in other countries' documents.
The great irony is that al-Qaeda never felt the need to use any of its altered or forged documents in the United States during the planning of 9/11. They found the U.S. so easy to enter that they simply asked for an official entry visa and got one every time. Jim Stewart, CBS News at the FBI.
On the CBS Market Watch, government regulators are investigating the way Morgan Stanley sells mutual funds. At issue is whether it pressures brokers to steer clients to what are called house funds, funds managed by Morgan Stanley. Stocks closed higher today. Some positive corporate earnings reports spark new hope an economic turnaround may be coming. That can't come soon enough for millions of unemployed workers. In a moment, the story of white-collar workers losing their jobs and their savings in a special Eye on America series, Making Ends Meet.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by FiberCon, refreshingly easier to take.
Why suffer through thick glasses of Metamucil for regularity? Try a refreshing change. Pure, natural water with FiberCon caplets. Just as effective as Metamucil, and FiberCon is refreshingly easier to take.
By age 50, if you're just wishing for good health, good luck. Help improve your odds with Caltrate. The same Caltrate shown in a clinical study to help stop bone loss may also help reduce the risk of recurrent colon polyps. It's never too late for Caltrate.
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness. But Allegra 180 can. For people 12 and over, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. Choose long-lasting relief without drowsiness. Allegra.
Looking to put more miles in your tank? All Shell gasolines are now specially formulated to give you better mileage, helping to take you farther.
Introducing Red Lobster's World of Crab. Sweet snow crab leg dishes inspired by recipes from around the world. Like our delicious new Asian garlic crab legs. It's a taste of the Far East. Come share your love of crab legs now at Red Lobster.
Share the love.
Imagine combining the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and freshening power of Listerine. You'd get Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean, Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Oh. What's the matter, Frank?
Heartburn.
Didn't you start taking Prilosec?
Yeah, but it could take up to 4 days to fully kick in.
That's a long time to wait, Frank.
Oh.
Zantac 75 works fast, right when you need it. Zantac for people who hate to wait.
The world's largest hotel chain is almost anywhere you want to go. The world's largest hotel chain tucks you in around the globe. With over 4,000 hotels in over 80 countries, the world's largest hotel chain is Best Western, inviting you to get a good night's sleep. Best Western, the world's largest hotel chain. Visit bestwestern.com or call 1-800-WESTERN.
A poll of Americans by CBS News finds their number one concern is the economy. Not surprising, with unemployment at a 9-year high. All this month, CBS's Eye on America is reporting on the struggle of many Americans to survive the economic troubles. Tonight, CBS's Jerry Bowen reports on out-of-work managers, barely managing now to make ends meet.
Thanks, Ease. My name is Daryl.
Hi, Daryl.
It sounds like any recovery meeting anywhere in America.
Hi, my name is Dorothy.
But the problem is not addiction.
Yo, yo, yo!
It's unemployment.
I need a position.
And these are some of America's best and brightest, managers and mid-level executives.
I've been involved with driving revenues, creating customer reference programs.
Auditioning at Taco Tuesday, a networking group in Lake Forest, California, where high-tech talents who once earned six-figure salaries are praying for the miracle of 6 degrees of separation. Someone who knows someone with a job opening.
I had worked 10 years in aerospace where
It has now been 18 months I've been basically out of work. So in that time, I have gone through my reserves.
Software engineer and mother of four, Janine Agudelo, is nearing a moment of truth.
If I don't find a job in the next few months, do I sell the house because it's not worth losing all my retirement savings?
The same economic forces that battered blue-collar workers, jobs taken offshore for one, have blown through the corridors of power. More and more of those white-collar executives who used to hand out the pink slips are now getting it handed to them. Executive headhunter David Radden says he has fewer corporations calling him to search for their next boss.
It's a horrible market. I am seeing excellent, top-notch executives on the street, can't get jobs.
Of the 9 million Americans out of work, just over 17% are managers or in specialized jobs, numbers never seen in this group before.
Even in here you have a number of unemployed executives.
Even in Tony San Juan Capistrano, and Cal Laird is one of them.
The tensions that I feel personally, and my wife and my kids feel it. It's a situation of, geez, what's Daddy going to do?
And Laird's wound is self-inflicted. The Harvard MBA walked away from a $300,000 a year president's job 18 months ago, looking for something more fulfilling. The timing was horrible. In normal times, would you be hard to place?
In normal times, the phone would be ringing off the hook.
And I've got everything moved along without...
But the phones are quiet and the emails rare for Laird and other former execs who network weekly in search of opportunities. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
When you see that amount of talent that's on the street, that tells me that there's something out of whack in the way the economy is performing right now.
My name's Joe Linick.
Out of whack.
I'm a problem solver.
Out of work.
I make things run right.
And hoping for that miracle.
I'm currently looking for another job in the aerospace industry.
In Lake Forest, California, I'm Jerry Bowen for Eye on America.
A study out tonight finds women who are overweight at age 70 have a high risk of developing Alzheimer's years later in their 80s and 90s. Researchers say the link between excess weight and Alzheimer's is, quote, striking. Coming up next here on the CBS Evening News, they're loud, they're messy, and most of them can't even eat popcorn yet. So why are theater owners rolling out the red carpet for babies?
Teresita works 40 hours a week and makes above minimum wage. So why does she need handouts? Making ends meet tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
How did we get the natural fiber of Metamucil powder into convenient capsules? Let's just say, it wasn't easy. All the benefits of Metamucil in capsules. Get regular, stay regular, the convenient way.
Imagine combining the stain-fighting power of Efferdent and freshening power of Listerine. You'd get Efferdent Plus. It's extra fresh, and nothing gets your dentures cleaner. Efferdent Clean, Listerine Fresh. That's Efferdent Plus.
Trying to beat cigarettes? Having trouble sleeping? You're probably using Nicoderm. Just read their label. The step-down patch from Nicotrol was designed to let you sleep. And with Nicotrol, you're twice as likely to quit than with cold turkey. Nicotrol, in the blue box.
Starting today, muscle pain is no reason for not taking off, not touching down, not raging, not ice dancing, not going vertical, not hitting the wall, not hacking, not taking the gloves off, not getting dirty. Introducing new Tylenol 8-Hour with 2 layers, one that's fast and one that lasts. All day, 1 dose. New Tylenol 8-Hour. It's the Tylenol for muscle pain, because not playing is not an option.
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness. but Allegra 180 can. For people 12 and over, side effects are low and may include headache, cold, or back pain. Choose long-lasting relief without drowsiness. Allegra.
Great skin after 50? I won't let go.
L'Oreal introduces Age Perfect with Collagen Boost.
Because mature skin needs more than ordinary moisture.
Age Perfect anti-sagging and ultra-hydrating treatment strengthens skin's network as it deeply hydrates. New Age Perfect, only from L'Oreal Paris.
What's this?
Breakfast.
It's kind of early, buddy.
You guys need to take some cholesterol off of you.
Honey, have you been reading the Cheerios box again?
I get that off the box.
Cheerios is still the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to reduce cholesterol to help your heart.
That was very thoughtful of you. Very early, but very thoughtful.
Cheerios, good for the heart.
Good night, oranges. Sleep well, because no one here will ever flavor, freeze, or concentrate you. Unsweetened dreams. Discover Simply Orange. Simply unfooled around with.
Coming up in just minutes on News Channel 5 at 6, in a desperate effort to support his drug habit, a man encourages his son to begin a life of crime. More tonight at 6.
Now, here's some of the stories CBS is working on for later this week. In our series, Making Ends Meet, tomorrow, the lineup for handouts. You may be surprised to learn who's in the handout line. Later in the week, a consumer alert investigation into club cards many stores offer. They may not be the bargain you think. And you'll meet a special ball player. The majors haven't seen one like him in half a century. We'll show him to you later this week. Finally, tonight, for movie lovers, there's nothing like an old-fashioned tearjerker, but most would consider it a horror show if the tears were coming from an audience full of cranky babies. So imagine a grown-up movie where those noisy tots are wooed and booed. CBS's Richard Schlesinger has the story.
11 a.m. isn't the best time to see a movie, but there's always a crowd on Tuesday mornings at this New York multiplex. It's not about who's in the movie, it's about who's in the theater. A bunch of mothers, a few fathers, and a whole lot of babies.
This is great. No one cares if your baby cries. You get to meet other fantastic moms.
This theater encourages parents to bring their babies on Tuesday mornings. It even provides valet parking. It's become a weekly event for Myung Keafa and her son,
Jack.
You like going to the movies?
Love it. I've told my husband my son takes me out to more movies than he ever did, including dating, so.
Normally, moviegoers cringe when a baby comes in. Here, the audience is roughly 50% infant. And that makes it easier for Michael Zorek, who remembers what it was like taking Jeremy to a regular showing.
He was up the entire movie.
Up meaning?
Up. Like this. Like this.
The movies are first run, so the mothers can see the latest releases, even if sometimes they can't hear them. There's a constant din in the theater. Do you even hear the crying?
No.
How can you not?
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother you?
No, not at all.
And as much activity in the seats as there is on the screen.
Are you going to lose track of the movie though?
Yes.
I think I can follow along pretty well.
Okay. The movie's almost beside the point. Think about it. These mothers and a few fathers get to spend 2 hours or so outside the home in a crowd without worrying if their babies are going to disturb anyone. Now, that's entertainment. And it's good for business. The audience for these shows is always growing.
I figured I'd see what it was all about. I've got a couple months to go still, and it's wonderful.
The movie business is constantly evolving and has now come to realize there's an audience that's always changing. Richard Schlesinger, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of our world tonight. Dan Rather reporting. We invite you to join us again tomorrow for the CBS Evening News. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, log on to cbsnews.com. This is CBS.
Straight ahead on News Channel 5 at 6, she was the passenger in last week's deadly police chase in Wilson County. Tonight, Dorothy Cash out of the hospital, heading home instead of to jail.
And a father accused of asking his son to break the law so he could feed his drug habit. Plus, how a fight turned into a dangerous crowd outside a Middle Tennessee hospital.
The news is now.
From your news and information leader. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. She was the passenger in last week's deadly police chase.
Tonight, Dorothy Cash is out of the hospital. News Channel 5's Mark Bellinger is live at Vanderbilt Medical Center, where Cash was released not long ago. Mark, I understand she's going home.
Well, she certainly is, and like you said, she was the passenger in that Mercedes, and she was hurt in the crash and brought here to Vanderbilt, but she was released more than an hour ago. Cash came out in a neck brace, one leg in a cast, and an arm in a sling. The 33-year-old is not charged in the case, so she is going back to East Tennessee. We asked Cash and her family about Fallon Talent, the driver of the car, and the woman charged in the case. First, you'll hear from Cash's sister Juanita, and then you